Howdy everybody. I pray this video finds you blessed. Thank you all for your prayers and your well wishes last week when I wasn't feeling well. I'm feeling much better now. Thank you so much for those. So this week I have a piece of wood that I'm not sure who it came from. I was in the middle of transitioning my new woodshed from my old woodshed, and a lot of boxes with sent pieces of wood got misplaced, and the packing was misplaced, and I could not find out who sent this piece. I think it was Rick Chapman, so if it was you, I thank you so very much. And if it wasn't, please put in the comments below if you recognize this piece of wood and you may think that you had sent it to me. I apologize again for misplacing the information. So I wanted to do something kind of simple and include the bark on this piece because it was sticking so well, and it was a beautiful bark. I have no idea what kind of wood it is, so if whoever sent it to me could comment below so I know. I was told that it looks kind of like an ornamental cherry, but I'm not absolutely sure. I do know this. It was beautiful to cut, very easy to cut. It made me look very good. My camera battery died just about when I was shear scraping right now, and so I didn't do much shaping on the outside. That didn't take very long to get the shape that I wanted to achieve on the outside, and I just shear scraped both directions, and then my battery went dead, so I apologize. There wasn't much missed. I literally just went straight to sanding. I did, however, started sanding around 220 and worked my way up because of how well this wood took to a nice sharp gouge. I didn't have to spend a whole lot of time sanding. It was glorious. It was one of those pieces that I definitely needed for the week because I'm still kind of low in energy and slowly recovering from my cold, so I needed something that wasn't going to give me too much of a fuss. It's always nice when that happens. hole right in this opening right underneath where I cut the bark away for my finial piece. So I just put thin CA over top of it. It's fine. It's one of those things where I'm not going to go and use epoxy and get all that broken out for just that small bug hole. Plus the CA glue helped to keep any of the bark together since I opened, created a new opening in a place where that bark could possibly separate. So the CA glue holds that together really well and just stiffens it up and gives you a little assurance. I'm so comfortable with my 5/8 bowl gouge that sometimes I forget that it's not always the best tool for every project. So, yeah, I was like, I think I need to go switch to my smaller gouge now. I sanded just up to 320 because I really wanted to leave some roughness, I guess, for the wax that I was going to put on it. I wanted there to be, I don't know, this embossed or whatever type texture to it. I don't know. I don't really know what I was doing, like 99.9% of the time. I'm just trying stuff. So my thought was so that way the wax wouldn't just like slide right off, because I wasn't wanting to coat it completely. I just wanted to kind of fill in that grain with it to give it some texture look, I guess. Light and darks in the piece so it wasn't just so blah. The wood bark had like this dark kind of like brown bronzy shimmer to it, and also that gold shimmer to it. So I kind of wanted to replicate that, but not too much. Not like I was trying to copy it, but just add some of those colors and some depth into the finial. Someone had commented in one of my past videos using the DECO Art wax that denatured alcohol helps to dilute it a little bit, so that way it doesn't just coat like this heavy, thick like paint. If you dilute it with denatured alcohol, it helps to spread it out, and it gives it more of a light coating to where you can still see the wood grain. So thank you for that tip. You know who you are. I really appreciate it, because that's what I did with this. Use some denatured alcohol and on my paper towel, and then just put the wax on there, and it really helped give me the look I was going for, instead of just coating it all down and it being too heavy. I already had this jig that I made for another vessel at one point, taking the bottom off of it, and I grabbed some foam from a package that had, I think, some lathe parts or something in it, and just cut a hole in it and used that, because the front, you know, the top side is uneven bark, so that really helped get that nice and square on there and held it, and also did not damage my top of my piece at all. So that was wonderful. So save your foam, because you might end up having to use a jig similar to this one, and it really worked fantastically. Howdy everybody, I pray this video finds you blessed. This week, this beautiful piece of unknown wood. Now, I think this came from Rick Chapman. I think. Rick Chapman, if you did send this to me, I truly appreciate you. You always send me some beautiful pieces of wood, and if it wasn't you, Rick, and whoever it was, please, I am so sorry that I lost the box in which some of these pieces came in during my transition of building my wood shed. I promise if any of you have sent me anything and you've gotten a card, I always send stickers and thank you cards for people who send me stuff, because I truly appreciate it. Most of the wood that y'all send me is really the only dried wood I have. Otherwise I have wet wood. So the fact that y'all send me dried wood is the reason why I'm able even to do these projects like this and not have to sit and wait for wood to dry. So I truly appreciate it. You guys have no idea how much that means to me, and I thank you so much. The reason why I kind of went towards this shape and design, because I really loved the pattern in this bark. This just really unique, neat bark going on there, and I wanted to keep that on the piece. Beautiful wood to cut. The bark is on there good. Like I put CA glue on it just to make sure that it would stay and it wouldn't pull away, especially with our humidity. It would possibly do that, but it was stuck good on there to begin with, and that's why I made the decision to include the bark in the first place. I didn't have to struggle keeping that on there. Shush, birds, shush. Yeah, so I put CA glue on there just to kind of help with that. Even the smoothness of it when I was sanding it, it was perfect. Whatever wood this is, it is beautiful to turn. It makes me look good. The finial, I'm not sure what it is. I purchased some wood blanks at Woodcraft last year when they had a bunch on sale, and some of the stickers were pulled off and they just had a price, so I have no idea. I'm not a good wood identifier, but it did have similar coloring. Get it out of here. It did have similar coloring to this wood, so that's why I chose it. It had those reds and oranges and things like that, but I wanted to kind of bring out the golds that were in this top. It's hard to see in the video. It's really something you have to kind of get a glimpse of in person if you can't see those gold highlights that bark naturally has. And I think the tung oil really helped accentuate that. So that's why I used the metallic Lustre Deco Art wax. You can get that at Hobby Lobby, or I will put the links for them in for Amazon down below. They come in several different colors and they're really fun to work with. I'm not great at finials. I am still kind of about the proportions of this finial to the size of this. My husband says it looks fine, and I know that I struggle in that area, and that is okay. I used to make a lot of finials when I first started turning, and I got into really good practice with it and I was doing well, but when it comes to putting a finial with a piece, that's when it's like, because you can't see it all together, you have to, anyways, excuses, I'm just not good at them. And I'm not good at them because I don't do them often. So just because you might not be good at something right off the bat, or something's not really good and natural to you, doesn't mean you can't be good at it. It just means that you're gonna have to work a little harder, and that's all right. And I have to work a little harder at these. This is not something that naturally flows for me. Even if it came out worse than I expected, the process taught me a whole lot and made me aware of things that I needed to work on, and or decide whether I wanted to even do finials. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win regardless to how it turns out, because you learn something in the process, and that is where we learn. And we don't learn much in our successes. We learn mostly in our failures. So give yourself grace in that learning. Believe me, you'll find this journey of turning and learning a lot more satisfying when you can look at it from the perspective of everything you do on your lathe is a learning experience, regardless to whether you're making pretty firewood or you're selling stuff in a store somewhere or a market or whatever. It is, give yourself grace. Find joy in the learning process. It's what's creating your future you, and that's the best we can hope for, I guess. Anywho, in the video I had made, it was really tight fit, and this still is kind of a tight fit, but I took sandpaper and just lightly sanded in here so that way it would just not be a snug, because I can't really mount. Marilyn interrupting me, so rude. I really couldn't mount this back on the lathe and trim it down or sand it evenly, so I just decided to take some sandpaper and sand that back just a little bit so that way it wouldn't be so snug. It still does stay in there upside down, which is really cool, but that's mostly because I made the tail of this really long and there's not much room for it to just slide out, but it has a nice little pop. I don't know if you heard that or not, but my kids are obsessed with it, and I kind of have been too, so. What else did I do differently? Carbides. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching. I really thank all of my subscribers, all of your comments, your likes, your kind words. Really helps keep me inspired myself, and to keep going and doing what I love. I love to turn and I love to share. So I appreciate y'all and supporting that. Thank you so much. I pray y'all have a wonderful weekend. Take care and God bless.
talk chicken.